Normal ain't coming back, but Jesus is. Ayo. Okay, real talk. I mean, that is real talk. But I have a story I want to share with you guys. First and foremost, I cherish this community so much. Like, what God has done on my little corner of the internet has been nothing short of incredible. And everything I do is to glorify God. It's not what Amanda's doing, it's what God's doing. And as I gave my life to God and went all in for Jesus, I've seen as he's grown our community here. I'm so thankful for my little tiny corner of the internet and what God is doing here. And I want to share this story because I met one of you guys last week and I've been meaning to come on here and tell you guys. It's just been holidays and everything's been crazy. So I met one of you guys last week. I was out to eat, and I hate to say the word follower. It's just, the word follower is always so weird to me, but I met one of you guys that's here, part of our Instagram community. And she started telling me, she loves what I do and she loves what I stand for and that she supports me. And then she's been following all the Sephora stuff. And she just moved to Tennessee, and she shared that she was offered a job to work for Sephora and she turned it down because of what they did to me. Like, this had happened around the same time that she was offered the job. And so she ended up, now she works for one of their competitors, another makeup company. And I was like, wow. Like, it was one of those moments where I'm like, this woman turned down a job because of what they did to me, because she stands with me. And I've said before, like, this whole cancel culture thing that happened to me is not just my story, it's our story. It's one part of a much larger story. And it was one of those moments where I'm like, our community is so strong. I get messages every single day still, and it's been almost a year. And I get messages of, I will never shop there again. I will never shop at Sephora again. Like, I get all these messages, people who stand with me, and it blows my mind. It's very humbling, and it's hard to even fathom. Like, I know people that have emailed me who left their job at Sephora because of what they did to me, because when they canceled me, they canceled conservatives, Christians. They canceled people who don't think like them, people who dare to ask questions, people who dare to think outside the box or have an opinion that they don't agree with or have beliefs that are not their own. Do you know what I mean? And to meet someone, to look me in the eyes and say, yeah, I didn't accept that job because of what they did to you. I've never shared this before, but when this first happened, like when the whole Sephora thing happened, I was afraid and I was embarrassed. And I remember telling Raphael, my husband, I was like, what did I do? This was a company that I'd shopped at for so long and worked with so many times in the past. And I was like, what did I do? I've never been mean to anyone. I've never bullied anyone. I've always treated everyone with respect. Like, what happened? I trusted God. I shared my story. I told the truth. I have nothing to hide. And I didn't realize so many people would resonate with what happened to me, that you saw a part of yourself in me and in my story, and you felt that. I've been in the beauty space on social media for almost a decade. And for me to have worked, like, I know no one's been behind the scenes with me all of these years and really seen how much that I put into this, but I've put everything into my job. And for all of that to be wiped away because, someone who sets trends in the beauty industry like Sephora, who is a billion-dollar company, says you don't align with our values of inclusivity because I have different beliefs than them, it's still hard for me to fathom and wrap my mind around someone who claims to care about diversity and beauty. But obviously, like, I'm Christian, I'm conservative, I'm Latina, I'm a woman, and I'm silenced and not worthy of beauty because apparently they get to decide what's beautiful and what's not. I created my social media platform so that I could have my own space where I felt like I fit in. I've never felt like I ever fit in my whole life. And I thought that was the great part about makeup. You can experiment, have fun, try your own things, and be your own kind of beautiful. There's no, standards for beauty that you can cap it at. And when I shared this story, I realized how many people felt the same and how many other people felt like they've been silenced and censored in the beauty industry, because the whole beauty industry is so politically correct. If you don't fit in, you won't get sponsorships, you won't get campaigns, you won't get collabs unless you say what they want you to say, act a certain way. It's literally an unattainable standard of beauty that the industry has created. And if you have any kind of opinion or personality that doesn't fit with theirs, you're out, you're not beautiful. And we're done with it. And you can see that on my page. Like, we've created a community of people, like, we stand together. Book of Esther has just been so relevant to my life and to a lot of people's lives and what we're going through as a world right now. That's why I made these Esther 4:14 hats. Perhaps you were brought to this position of power for such a time as this. Perhaps you were created for such a time as this. And I truly believe that God has brought in all of us together for such a time as this. He could have picked any time in history, but he chose right now. So if you're ever feeling alone, I get these DMs every day, people feeling alone, like they're the only ones who are like awake to things that are happening in our world. You are not alone. This whole thing has just reminded me that God can use whoever he wants. Like, I never thought in a million years God would use me for anything. I'm like, why me? Like, but God doesn't use perfect people. God uses whoever he wants. And just the fact that God has used this terrible, evil cancel culture to bring so many people together and to have so many people like standing with me, you don't understand. Like, I am forever grateful, and I don't know what I ever did to deserve it. I have no idea, but I'm so thankful for this community that we've built here. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that you cannot put a price on your morals and values. You cannot put a price on your voice and your freedom of speech. I've lost a lot from being vocal and standing up for truth, but I know that God will always take care of me. And there's no price on your voice. Don't ever let anyone try to intimidate you into silence. Don't ever be afraid to use your voice because you're afraid, I'm going to lose work or this or that. There is no price you can ever put on your voice. The way that we make change is to be active and to support companies that support our values and not companies that try to silence people. I cannot stress enough how important freedom of speech is, because if there's no freedom of speech, there is no freedom. And when I stand against cancel culture, I don't want anyone to be canceled. I want everyone to be able to use their freedom and their God-given voice. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, for standing with me. And I hope you guys enjoy my space on social media as much as I do.